Hello everyone, in this video I'm working on this Jeep Cherokee with a custom 3D printed chassis, which I introduced a couple weeks ago in a video that I will have a link to down below in the description. Since that video, I've added some additional details to the Jeep body, and I've managed to stiffen the frame with some new frame rails. One of the first things I wanted to do to help give this crawler a more scale appearance was to paint the lug nuts. I used Model Master's chrome silver enamel paint. This is a super simple and dirt cheap way to give the wheels a little more detail. I really like how it turned out, and I think it definitely adds some scale realism. I thought I'd try using frame rails made from PLA plastic instead of the ABS frame rails that I was using. They're the same design except they're 5mm thick and the ABS rails were only 3mm thick. This crawler chassis is designed to use more conventional steel frame rails, but I wanted to see how plastic frame rails would hold up. The ABS frame rails ended up being pretty durable, but they allowed the chassis to flex substantially. So I decided to replace them with these PLA parts to see how much stiffer the chassis would be. So simply replacing the 3mm ABS rails with 5mm PLA did add some rigidity to the chassis. Obviously it's still a bit bendy, but I think I'm going to stick with these PLA frame rails for a while and see how they hold up. You may remember in the previous video I temporarily mounted the receiver to the front crossmember with zip ties. I came up with a more permanent solution. Since there really isn't a great place to mount it on this chassis, I decided to mount it to the underside of the body. I designed and printed this case that will hold and protect the receiver, and I mounted this case to the body using Velcro, so it's easy to remove if I want to separate the body from the chassis. As I mentioned in the previous video, I thought the body looked like it was sitting a little too high. I adjusted the body mount so it sits a little lower on the chassis, but I still think I might drop it down a little more. I wanted to add some inner fenders and floor pan pieces to make the undercarriage look more realistic and provide some additional protection to the electronics. So I designed and printed a 7-piece set that will fit snugly to the inside of the body. Before I attached the inner fenders to the body, I wanted to trim around the body to make the edge a little smoother. I used a rotary tool with a fine sanding drum to smooth out the edge. It's still not perfect, but it's definitely an improvement. After giving the visible surfaces of the undercarriage pieces a few coats of Plastidip to try and replicate the undercarriage rust-inhibiting coating found on many full-scale vehicles, I mounted the pieces to the body using super glue and then shoe goo to secure the center floor pan piece to the body. I used 3mm steel rods on the front and rear inner fenders to help keep them snug against the body and stiffen the body overall. I also designed and printed this custom roof rack. It still needs some sanding, filling, and painting, but I think it already looks pretty cool on top of this Jeep. I'm also working on adding some body trim pieces as well as some other parts to give this body more detail. And that concludes this video. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed it, I would appreciate it if you give this video a like and share it. Also, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe for weekly videos and follow me at the social media links below. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.